You ready to do this, Lex?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's talk movies, guys. Stay tuned. Tape marker, action. What's going on, Alamo City Movie Talk fans? I'm Ryan D, aka Ryan680, baby.
And this is Lex, back at it again.
Lex, it's October, guys. Oh my gosh, when we release this, it's about to be October. I'm excited. The holiday season, Halloween season is here. Hashtag Halloween Town, hashtag Disney, hashtag just Nightmare.
It's also both of our birthday month, too.
I know, man. The best month ever. Can we all agree? Fall season. We got a little fall season here, but it
went away. It went away. That was quick.
That was like 2 days, 3 days.
I didn't even get to go outside when it was like the coolest.
Oh man, I loved it. I went outside. It's funny you mentioned that too, because it's like, we went outside for a little bit, but overall today was so humid. Yesterday was beautiful.
Yeah, today was nasty.
Today was just nasty. It was a tease, man. That's all it was. They've been teasing us for real. But let's get right to it, guys. This is the movie The Guilty, ladies and gentlemen. The Guilty, starring Jake Gyllenhaal. A demoted police officer assigned to a call dispatch desk is conflicted when he receives an emergency phone call from a kidnapped woman. Man, Lex, what'd you think of this movie, dude? I mean, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't watch the trailer, so I'm gonna go ahead and say that. I didn't. Did you watch the trailer for this movie?
Yes, I did. I didn't mean to though, because I didn't know this movie was coming out or anything. I saw it on TikTok, so TikTok played the trailer.
TikTok,
and I was like, oh, like I liked it. It was, what's funny? It's like I usually look at the comments of TikTok just to see if they're thinking what I'm thinking or whatever.
Yeah,
and I looked at the comments on this trailer. And like someone said, for a moment, I forgot I was on TikTok because like the trailer was so intense. And
wow.
I mean, you forget that you're watching a whole trailer.
Yeah.
But yeah, it kind of hooked me from the moment because I haven't seen a movie from Jake Gyllenhaal in a while. And so like I'm a big fan of his. I've watched a lot of his films that he's in. And then the combo, right, with the director Anthony Fuqua.
I know.
I think it's more. It has a more French ring to it, but they worked together back in Southpaw, and that was a really good movie that I enjoyed.
His famous movie, which we all know, which is Training Day, didn't have Jake Gyllenhaal, but the Training Day, famous Oscar film that won the Oscar, that won Denzel his Oscar. But yeah, man, I totally agree with you here, man. This film was very different. It was not what I expected at all. This film was very remote, guys. So fun fact here, this film was actually filmed in a remote area, secluded, because this was during COVID time of last year when the spike was really high. The director was compromised a little bit during, he got in contact with someone who tested positive for COVID. So they had to do everything FaceTime. And Jake Gyllenhaal even said it like in an interview that, this was the most intense acting he has to do, like very difficult. Right? Yeah, very difficult just to do FaceTime over, just like how we're doing it. It's very hard because you don't have a director to tell you, oh, this scene's supposed to go this way. This scene needs to be more sad. This scene needs to be more intense seriousness in that realm. And it's very difficult. We all could do that. I completely agree there. But despite the obstacles they had in this movie, man, this is a good, solid film, man. I mean, imagine if they didn't have to go through this. Like, imagine this if this obstacle wasn't upon them, how much great this film would have been in that sense. Yeah. But
in a way, I also feel like the movie was designed to be that way. Like, I mean, they prepared. They had to play with certain backups, like having backup plans and stuff. But I'm saying, like, the movie was still
gonna be remote regardless.
The cast consists of less than 10 actors, right? Maybe I think it's maybe like 6 or 8. In terms of just everyone, I'm talking about everyone, like people in the background and all that
exactly
stuff, right?
Different, very different.
That in, like this was still meant to be a movie
one set,
all happened in one set, all happened in one room. And so I think, once again, the nature of the movie kind of played to the strength of having to be isolated to an extent. But yeah, not having your director there, like that's definitely tough. Or like even just via Zoom, which is I think what they did. It's really tough.
Going on that note that you just mentioned as well, it's very like how great and good of an actor Jake Gyllenhaal is, and that's the beauty of it is just like, this guy could have been like, you know what, let's wait, let's stop, but he still was able to continue this filming. He still was able, he said, let's do this, because this is a movie that I feel like he was committed to, in that sense. I mean, I give props to him, and I really do. I give props to exactly what he did in this movie and everything. And granted, he did go on record saying like he was frustrated with the obstacles and the challenges they had to really abide to this movie, but I still enjoyed it, man. We got Pierce Skarsgård in here as the voice, which is funny because like usually I'm used to seeing him on screen, so it was more voice acting. I guess you could say in this aspect, in this realm, even though it's not animation. And then also we got Ethan Hawke in here, dude. You know what's funny? Ethan Hawke. I don't know if you know this, but Hollywood side, Ethan Hawke doesn't do a bad guy. He's never done a bad guy. I don't know if you ever know that until a movie that's coming out, I believe next year, and he's gonna play the very first bad guy. He's never played a bad guy for some reason. He's never wanted to take the bad guy role until next year, which is a fun little fact there. But yeah, I just wanted to give that little side note.
Didn't he get cast in Disney Plus's Moon Knight though? But I don't know if he's I forget which character he got cast at. I don't know if it's a bad guy or not. But
man.
We could look it up, but like I know he's in the show. I know he got cast in Moon Knight, but I don't know who he's playing. But I mean, a big name like his, I thought he was gonna be like the opposite of Moon Knight, but I don't know.
Yeah. So the movie, it's called The Black Phone, and he plays a killer in that movie, and he's actually wearing a mask. So that's gonna be his very first villain. Comes out later this year. It's supposed to be a scary movie. His first ever horror, where he's the villain. Usually he's the good guy.
That's interesting.
He's never, so that's gonna be.
Thought about that.
Yeah, you never think about it, right? Because it's just like, But anyways, that's a little side note for Ethan Hawke. But going back to Jake Gyllenhaal here, the great Jake Gyllenhaal. Ethan Hawke's a great actor as well. I would say this is a cop movie, right? But it doesn't have that cop essence, because by all means, my favorite Jake Gyllenhaal performance, I would probably say, and I don't know if everyone's gonna be on the same page with me, is probably End of Watch with Michael Peña. I love that freaking movie. I love their combination together. I love their on-camera presence when they really. It's just such. It doesn't even feel like they're acting. Like half the movie, it's not like, dude, they're not even acting. They're just acting themselves, and that's how beautiful of an actors they both are. Spoiler: Michael Peña dies, even though he dies a lot of his movies. What's funny? Michael Peña dies a lot of his movies. I've
only seen him die on that one. What else does he die on?
He died in a World Trade Center. He's died. I can name like
the
yeah. So there's countless. There's like 2 other movies I can mention that he's died in. But anyways, he's died in a lot of his movies. But besides that, we've seen him in Nightcrawler. We've seen him in Prisoners, which is another fan favorite that I really did enjoy, which was Hugh Jackman in there as well. And obviously we saw him in Spider-Man. There you go. Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting. Of course, Far From Home. But I mean, this guy's a really great actor, man. I mean, I enjoy his on-camera presence. When I know he's gonna be in the movie, it's already a huge plus. It's gonna get my ass in that seat. It really is, because it's like, dude, he hasn't really done me wrong. There's some movies where it's like they're like not even bad. It's just very different and very peculiar films, which I did still enjoy it. There's never a time I walk out of the movie and be like, oh, this movie sucked. Out of him so far. Yeah, so far. Granted, there was that movie called Brothers that came out a long time ago, which plays Natalie Portman and Tobey Maguire. It's a very different kind of film. That film was kind of dull, and it was just very different. But I don't blame that on him. It was just the role he had to do. It was just very weird. It was a very dark, weird film. But yeah, anyways, so going back to this, this movie starts off, it's set in California, guys, and a 911 operator. I didn't know how much intensity during a 911 operator can do. This is crazy because I kid you not, this is how close home it is for me, Lex, is that I was actually thinking about being that when I was 20 years old, and a 911 operator. And I didn't realize how intense that job is. Gosh, this shows so much awareness to how intense the job can really be. Even though, I mean, granted, it depends though, because I think you could be a civilian under that role, but because
my cousin is a 911 operator.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, see, perfect. So, but he was an actual police officer
he was demoted.
just
Yeah, yeah.
grounded because of the incident that happened. And we find that later on in this movie, which is very surprising. I love how real how real the dispatch world really is, because I literally thought you call 911 and like, oh, fires real quick, boom boom, sometimes they don't answer, sometimes they're busy. It's a lot of that aspect to where like, dude, this sucks. And it's also spreads awareness how what California deals with a lot, because it's like everyone was busy with the fire, it was smoking. I mean, you think about it, just a lot of these factors in there. Granted, we don't have fires, thank God, here in San Antonio, but you never really think about stuff like that, to how real this movie really portrayed itself a lot.
Yeah, I found it interesting that like like the movie took place, even though technically the fires has nothing to do with the
Yeah,
premise of
they
the
really,
movie.
but the
It,
conditions under it.
but
Yeah.
yeah, I think like it it set the tone for the
Definitely.
condition of the city, as well
Hmm.
as the 911 operators, because
Yeah.
without spoiling anything, there's a lack of resources and
Hmm.
added pressure behind the calls coming in, because all the resources from police department, fire department, they're all kind
Hmm.
of like focusing on that. So it's a setting that's relevant to some of the obstacles that you see in the film. Right, the
Hmm.
fire does make some resources scarce when it comes to people and manpower.
Yeah.
So I think it was wise. It once again added, no pun intended, but like it added heat to the movie and pressure, and you could see that, as well as
Yeah.
seeing, very quickly we see in the movie that um, Jake Gyllenhaal's character, he almost doesn't belong in that setting, but you as we say, like it's police officer that has been demoted, but
Hmm.
you can see he doesn't belong in that world because he lacks some sort of like empathy that you would need to be in that role.
Yeah.
And so you can start seeing like the flaws of the character, and that plays into the story very nicely, which I really like.
Definitely, definitely. Yes, I completely agree with you there, man. Man, brought up some good points, brother. Yeah, man. And see, and not only that, but I give so much props to Jay Gyllenhaal for just acting over the phone, because this is a person where like literally he's not face to face with anyone, he's not interacting with someone, so he doesn't feed off that energy like how you and I are doing it, even though we're virtual.
Yeah.
We it's very different, because I even agree with that with reviews, ladies and gentlemen. I believe it or not, I agree. If you Lex, if you were here,
Mhm.
our we could conversate for hours, but because we're virtual, we're limited. It's just I feel like it's like not grounded in that sense, to where like it could go on and on. Our review could go on and on. Our review's like gonna be
Yeah.
probably like 15 minutes. If you were here, we could probably talk about it for 30 minutes to 45 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it really creates that casual presence that I feel like actors and even people who do reviews like us really need, in that sense, in that realm. But yeah, man, I give props to him, Jake Gyllenhaal, for just acting in those circumstances, and I give props to Netflix for really trying to get this done, and they really did. This movie comes out October 1st. Was there anything that we needed in this movie, man? This runtime was approximately an hour and 30 minutes. There was times in this movie where I felt like it was dragging a little bit.
Hmm.
And in that sense, there was a little few dull moments there,
Hmm.
almost to a sense to where I could take out some scenes in the movie, but I'm all like, crap, it's an hour and 30 minutes. Like I didn't notice
Yeah.
that until like the end of the movie, and I was all like, oh crap, it's only an hour and 30 minutes. Like,
Yeah,
um,
I mean, it was refreshing seeing something be an hour and 30 minutes and not like, we're used to 2 hours and
two
30
hours. Yeah,
movies
I
now,
thought
right?
okay, yeah,
But
and that's not to say this movie was terrible. It just it felt there was a few dull moments in this movie where kind of didn't go the right way with me in that sense. I'm not gonna mention it because it's gonna mention spoilers. So, but yeah, there's certain scenes in this movie that I felt like it just could have been edited out. But it's like an hour and 30 minutes, so it's like, dude,
yeah, it's like, what do you cut?
yeah,
Yeah, I think I have to agree with like it dragging a little bit. However, the movie was very intense. Like it does have
definitely,
a lot of tension, very intense moments, very good acting, and so
definitely,
I feel like those moments, the ones that felt like dragging, it's almost like they gave us room to breathe a little bit.
yeah.
So if you take those out, then like the movie is just like 100 miles an hour. Like I don't think that would end up in a good experience either. But you're right. I think perhaps even just the way that something's played out, it could have flowed a little bit different to where you don't notice it.
Yeah. I would say one movie that could probably comparison to it. It maybe not as intense. Photo Booth, an old film called Photo Booth, where like I don't know if you've seen that movie, Photo Booth.
I
It's
don't
where
believe.
a sniper is like questioning this guy, and he's asking him so many questions, and he's like, "You're stuck to this photo booth." It's a really good, solid film.
Oh,
That's where I could get.
you mean the phone booth
Oh, phone booth. Oh my
with?
god. Am I saying
Yeah,
photo? I'm saying
yeah. You
photo
were
booth.
saying,
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Yes, phone
That's
booth.
with
Yeah.
Colin Farrell.
Yes, Colin
Yes,
Farrell, and then has Forrest Whitaker, I believe, in there too. If I'm not mistaken,
yes.
he's the
That movie.
detective.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember that
so
movie.
that movie in that sense, where it's all intense, pretty much throughout the whole movie, and there's certain scenes, but they kind of key aspect together in the very end of this movie in phone booth. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, guys. Photo booth, God, jeez,
That's why I was confused. But
photo
then
booth.
once you started talking
It's a
about it, I
dead
was
photo
like,
booth.
yeah.
I apologize, guys. I apologize. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna get crap about that. But yeah, let's go
Um,
to ratings, Lex. Ratings 1 out of 10, 10 being the highest. When do you give this rating, man?
I think this movie was a solid 8, I should say, because it could be from Jake Gyllenhaal's performance. Like I could give it a bigger number because
Yeah,
he did really good in this character, and but I would say just eight. And I typically like a movie that's more dynamic in terms of its setting and
definitely.
how expansive it is, and the fact that this played in a room. I don't think it's what was meant for the movie, but what I'm
Mm,
saying is, like, in stories like this, there could have been an actual, let's say, like a chase where this character actually walks out of this room or something like
yeah,
that. And at times I thought maybe they might have gone in that direction, but they didn't. So it was consolidated. Once again, the movie was designed to be that way, but perhaps that's
yeah.
playing a role as to why the story didn't take me further, right?
Mm,
um but I think it's a very solid 8 nevertheless. I think it's a really good movie to watch. It's definitely very tense, so if you're into that, like, I think you'll enjoy it. Um and yeah, the movie didn't necessarily leave me wanting, like, more or anything like
yeah,
that in
yeah.
terms of. Once again, it's a movie that's not meant to set up a sequel or anything. That's not what I'm
No, of
trying to
course
say.
not.
But
Yeah, yeah.
um, it didn't left me wanting like more than what it delivered. So I think that's
Yeah,
always
it's
like
just a
the
good,
objective.
solid film.
Mhm.
Beginning, middle, end. That's it. We're
Yeah.
done. Yeah, true that. I completely agree there. I'm gonna give it a solid 7, guys. A solid 7. Because this is, as much as this is a cop movie, it doesn't really carry the same elements as a police officer would. Of course, in those intense moments there that we see, maybe so as a police operator, but not as a police officer out in the field and all that, which I kind of feel like that kind of, again, though, it's just the way the movie was portrayed. It was just the way it was already planned out because he
Hmm.
was an operator. But in all bets aside, though, it just, there's a lot of dumb moments that really took a toll on the rating for me. So I'm gonna give it a solid 7. It's still a good, solid movie, guys. Alamo City Movie Talk does recommend this movie, guys, to check it out on Netflix, definitely on October 1st, because this is a really good, solid movie, guys, and it gets you into the intense season of the year, which is Halloween, Christmas shopping. It's gonna get intense, guys. It's gonna be crazy because everyone's gonna be traveling now, so it's gonna be definitely an intense rest of the year, guys. But yeah, we do recommend this movie once again, and it'll be on Netflix October 1st. Any final thoughts, Lex? Any on this
No, I'm
guilty
excited. I'm excited to see if
fans?
Jake
Yeah,
Gyllenhaal pairs up with the director once more, and they keep
definitely. I'm
bringing out
excited.
some movies. And then yeah, I'm excited to see what people think of the movie.
Definitely. Put on comments down below if you enjoyed this movie. Put on comments down below if you thought the movie was just terrible, you didn't like it. Tell us in the comments down below, man. We would love to talk movies with you guys. As always, I am your host, Ryan D, aka Ryan680.
And this was Lex. Goodbye, everyone.
Catch you later, guys. Stay safe, San Antonio. Thanks for talking movies.
Wake up, wake up.